So we went from design to actually the cutted parts. We started welding the project. We started putting all the parts in the hull, and we fully welded everything, grinded everything. And then we actually put it on the trailer and look at this beauty. And we put on a very sweet outboard engine. So let's continue this build. We're gonna put on the windows. We're gonna make color from the sides. Let's get into it. Put the 4 bolts on the boat only, but you also have to put all the hoses and electrical wiring and everything into the boat. And that is absolutely a big project in and out of itself, because you need to find all this routing all the way from the engine to the remote control and everything. So as you can see, like, I don't have a lot of video footage because I'm basically in the boat all the time, so you just see my like going in the boat all over the place. But what basically means is that it's coming through here, and here you can see a plastic PVC pipe, and it's going underneath here, and it's gonna find its way over here. Cables from the forward backward throttle and the electrical wires, and here's the dashboard. So now at this stage everything is very whole build like. Yeah, there's no finishing here, but we're actually gonna paint these areas. This weld wasn't really that nice because there's like a strange edge and it wasn't really melting, or I was very tired that day. Who knows, could have done better. I will admit that. So here I put, this is a little bit of an emergency dash because I didn't really think this through. I just didn't have the creativity when I was designing the hull about the dashboard, but there are a lot of ideas and iterations that I already have for this area, and you need to just have the feeling that you're in a fighter jet instead of this it looks a lot like, how do you call it, aftermarket dashboard. But anyways, it works. Here's gonna be the steering. Yeah, you can see here the remote control, all the wiring is behind here, and here we get like a electrical area behind this plate because all the wires and everything come in here. You can see the wires here. So let's move on. Wrapping. Blue, a very nice color blue. It's kind of not like metallic and it's not like shiny, but it's also not fully matte, so it's a little bit like a half polish-ish. I don't know how to say that in English, but I got some help with this, and you've seen on other parts and other videos, you can also see that sometimes you need an extra hand. This kind of a profession, you know, I tried to make my windows black of my sports car back in the day. It's one of the most frustrating things to do, but it's just a skill, you know. I can do welding, I can do designing, but this wrap stuff I cannot do. So a local painter helped me out to put this on, and for $1,000 I put this on both sides, right? And it's basically a Friday afternoon to put it on, and you get such a rewarding experience here because you can just put it on in a few seconds. And to be fair, if you have like the how do you call it, the air pillows to protect the wrap, it's kind of okay, but I think like 5 years this will maintain, and then it maybe needs to be replaced. So yeah, maybe then with some inflation it's like $1,200 to make it different. The best thing is for an amount of money like that, you can just make a new color for the next 5 years, let's say. So this is really looking nicely, yeah. And he's making the cuts here. If you did this, just makes the boat beautiful. Now in the next part, I will put on the window. I will show you how I build up the windows because they look really freaking sweet too. So yeah, this was a really fun job to do. So. But before we get into the windows, we are going to do the hydraulics. Now, this wrap was really nice to do, and the hydraulics was an absolute disaster to do. I just don't like hydraulics. The work that you need to do with hydraulics, I just don't like it. You need to steer it to the left, you need to put in the oil, and you're just like making a mess everywhere. And obviously I'm very aware of the fact that there are systems for this, and if I ever have to build a boat again, together with all the wiring of the engine, together with the steering system, I will just outsource that and make it somebody else's problem, because this is not a great skill of mine. So, but anyway, we got it working, and that's the thing. Yeah, we always get it working in the end, but yeah, it's a little bit of a rough experience, but we got it done, and now we can actually have the steering. Oh yeah, and by the way, later on there's also big leakage, so there's even more oil everywhere. I had to use a different sealant for the thread because it was like not the proper agent to glue the thread parts over here. But anyways, let's move on. Let's go to the beautiful windows, guys. What you can see is that these are the frames that are painted black now, and it's like again, it's a matte black, like just like no shine, just like pure deep black. And you can see here that this is not painted because I used like polycarbonate, is it called in English? Polycarbonate windows, which you should never do. You should go for plexiglass or real glass. But I kind of run out of money at this point, so I'm like investing heavily into this project. You know, you could see the metal and the wrap and the engine, but there's a lot of additional costs coming to it. Like you need some paint, you need a little bit of whatever, you need all the small parts. Yeah, you need like welding gas, you need welding wire, and then the grinding discs are gone, you need to order new grinding discs, and you keep spending a lot. So you can see here I'm putting in the tape to make so what I'm doing here, I'm marking the windows so I know what like I'm grinding off the windows, and I put primer on the place that it needs to be glued, and then on the other side it looks like I glued it perfectly, but it's actually the primer that you see. So I will show you in the next example how that looks. So here you can see I put the primer on, and when I now glue it to the frame, it looks a very nice black line, right? That's the reason. But also the primer is good for the like connection for the glue as well. So this is the middle window. And here you can see I'm putting the glue on, putting that window on, putting that window on, and now it's just again a matter of waiting and waiting. So frustrating to wait all the time for this glue to dry up. So this was the end result, and I think they're really looking nice. Yeah, so you can see here, if I zoom this a little bit, so you can see how this is a very nice line over here, right? This is the primer on the back side. So it's actually a very small layer of glue. And obviously I'm like covering the filler on the outsides, and this is the final finish. I like this idea of sunglasses, right? A lot of these windows, they're very perfectly shaped, and there's like another cover over this one, but I just want to go with simplicity, and this just makes like kind of a fighter jet, like a Ray-Ban sunglasses on this boat. So how would they look on the boat itself? Again, look at this, man. It's absolutely, I think the windows I'm basically the most proud of. I mean, look at this, man. Looks awesome. And there's like this small tint, yeah, like a sunglassy, like a gray, scaly tint throughout the window, so it's not fully white. Now, if you're liking this content, could you please hit that like button? That really helps me out. And check out the description. There's like a Patreon page where you can be more in the loop of what I'm doing. Okay, here we go. So I'm putting them on, and you can see the dash is painted black here. This is another 2 weeks of work, yeah, with the engine and everything and the windows. This takes a lot of time. So yeah, putting in some screws, bolts, and this is the first time I'm actually putting them on. So the last picture in the previous video, we had a look how the boat was looking, but then after that I had to paint them, had to primer them, had to paint them, need to wait for paint to dry up, then I need to wait for the freaking glue to dry up. And this image, what I'm gonna show now, it's kind of funny to see my face. I'm like kind of like now I'm actually sitting here and I'm behind the window and I can see over the front deck, main deck. It's actually a very functional window and it looks absolutely beautiful. Look at the next picture. Let me just make myself a little bit smaller here so we can actually show it for real. What do you guys think? I think this deserves a like, yeah? I mean, look at this beauty. Yeah, over here as well. The windows from the inside. And I put like this, how do you call it? I can pull this one to open up the window over there. I don't know really what to say. This is just like I was so proud at this point. And you know, a little bit of a side note, you got all these different workshops here, yeah? It's very hard to keep people away and they all want to see and check out how it's going, right? Because it's like everybody knows that I'm building this and they could hear it like few months before this picture was taken, was hammering in a workshop, welding like non-stop. So yeah. More pictures. This is steering mechanism, hydraulic steering mechanism. It's by the way, this on this picture it's upside down, so I had it mixed up. So yeah, a lot of mistakes I'm making as well. Yeah. Now, again, there's still a lot to finish, and there needs to be materials on the stairs. There need to be materials. There need to be floors in here. We need to cover different areas up. For now I just painted this black, so it's like a little bit of a finish sorta. So yeah, you can see here, you can actually really look through the windows. Here we are. In the next video we're gonna take that to the water, and yeah, when that video is finished it will be right up here. Thanks for watching.